it's interesting that at the time we are receiving all these awards, which are acknowledgements of what we have achieved, there are forces from within who are fighting the progress we have made and saying they don't want it to continue. It's quite ironic that within the week where the Tribune was giving us awards, where we were receiving awards in the area of technology, in the area of ICT, in the area of entrepreneurships, that same week we were being invaded from outside by some strange elements who have some very interesting ideas of what governance should be in Edo State in 2019, going 2020. I'm not realizing that these ideas are far outdated and the people of Edo State know better and they are moving on. Clearly, they meant it to be, but you can see it's not been. We're working hard. Tomorrow we're having a workshop on health insurance, which is one of the first in the country. Tomorrow the governor of the central bank is coming in here to launch the Edo State Oil Palm program, which is the largest and most ambitious plantation program on the continent today. And we're doing so many other things we set out to do. Their intention was to slow us down, to distract us. But with God on our side and with the people for us, they can't succeed. If you recall, 2 years ago you were here with us, and when we started this project, and you knew some of the challenges we faced. First, in terms of the mechanization, the level of mechanization. Secondly, the security. This year it's much better. We have more machines that have come to the farm, particularly in terms of land preparation machines, harrowing, and this were all done in record time before the rain set in. We still have a bit of challenges with security, but we're working on that, particularly headsmen who are looking for pasture and they come into the farms. But it's not been as bad as it was last year because we took some preemptive measures. So yes, there are areas we can improve. Now that we have conquered this territory, we've cultivated 5,000 hectares. We need to move further. We need to get more land under cultivation. That is another area we need to look at. This particular land is owned by the state government. This was a farm settlement which was set up in the 60s and was bequeathed to Edo State government. So we don't have any communal issues with this land. But our model is to approach communities to voluntarily put up land for agricultural purposes, for cultivation. And depending on how we go about the negotiations and the agreements with them, we should be able to reduce, if not eliminate, any potential communal clashes.
Okay. Absolutely, and that's the wisdom of the Central Bank of Nigeria in setting up NASAL. You all know the popularity of the Anko Borrower program. The other arm, the other tool in the arsenal of the Central Bank is NASAL. What NASAL does is to leverage other sources of financing to work with owners of the space. And the owners of the space, agriculture does not happen in Abuja. It doesn't happen in the sky. It happens on ground, in the land, with the communities. And the chief executives of those lands, those communities are the governors of the states. So what you see here is a labor of concentration of efforts that we started off as a test to see how it can work about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And today you can see a proof of concept. We are absolutely encouraged because yield has moved up from 1.8 tons per hectare, that if the farmers are left on their own, to about 4 tons. That is over 100% increase. That means the revenue also has moved by the same measure. And when you ask His Excellency the Governor regarding communal land issues, this is a win-win proposition. Don't forget, this is about the farmers on their own land with assistance coming to them. When the cultivation is done for them. When the grain is produced, is for them. When it is sold, is for them. NASAL is part of the Central Bank. We absolutely are not profit takers. And I'm sure His Excellency is also a profit taker. Entire 100% of the revenue and the profits for the farmers. What we're trying to do is to lift them out of subsistence farming, which they have been doing for ages without them making money, to move them into an era where even young people coming out of universities can see, young people, if they can feel it in their pocket immediately, you don't need to tell them what to do next. This is the whole idea. So following the money is the key. Our main objective is make the rural people feel money in their pocket. Once they are empowered with money, they can pay for health services, they can pay for their kids in school, they can take care of themselves. That is the real empowerment. So we are very encouraged with this outing, and like the governor said, what happens is that in all communities, this serves as a center of excellence. So all communities that are around will keep now merging their own little farmlands to this, and it grows bigger and bigger and bigger by the year. So when we have our big machine starting from one end of the farm, that machine will work from morning till night before it reaches the other end. That is what happens in agriculture in America and South America. You understand? So this is really a game changer, and we're happy about it. Don't forget, our job is to fix the value chain, to make sure when we guarantee money, that money comes back. Otherwise, it's dangerous for NASAL to put guarantee if the money does not come back. Then we pay, tomorrow we pay, the day after tomorrow we pay, we too will cease to exist. That is why we put our hands there to make sure everything succeeds, as you can see on this project.